Hello and welcome to the cryptocurrency news channel. We're going to discuss Vechain, Cardano, and Polkadot, and which one is most likely to get the super pump of this cycle. Now, they've all gotten pumps already. I mean, Vechain is like 30x from last year, well, 25x from last year. Cardano's like more than 30x. And Polkadot, I mean, it's kind of a new one when they actually got like rebased, and they're way up too. Both Cardano and Polkadot are in the top 10, so they've already gotten pretty big pumps. I'm focusing on these three because they're going to have their own mainnets with smart contracts. Solana can be in there too, but I'm a little bit unsure about Solana, like their dates and stuff. I'm more sure about Polkadot, Cardano, and Vechain, so we're going to talk about these. And others like Dogecoin, Litecoin, XRP that depend on Flare, that's more dependent on Flare, and they don't have their native smart contracts. So they're not really in this discussion because it's a little different when you depend on like a third party for smart contracts. You're kind of like dependent on when they decide to release. Not exactly sure when Flare is actually going to launch everything. I think it's like Q3 or Q4, but I'm not really sure. So of these three, which one of them are likely to get a massive pump? Actually, I think all three of them are, but let's actually go from least likely to most likely. So it all depends on the timing of all this stuff. Now, least likely out of three, even though it's still very likely, would actually be Cardano, and that's because they're targeting like July, August for their Alonzo launch. Because the thing is, like, we don't really know how long this bull run is actually going to last. Yes, you can actually mint NFTs with the Mary Hard fork, but they're not as useful without the full smart contracts. And there's been double minting NFTs on the when people are testing, so they still have to have smart contracts to make everything like a go, and to make it like really useful. So they're still dependent on Alonzo, and that's not coming until August. And like I said, we don't really know how long this bull run is going to go. My guess is going to go until the end of the year, so it's really not a huge problem. But the thing is, you really don't want to release your platform. You really don't want to release your platform when the run is over and in the bear market, because then the price won't go up as much. I mean, I guess for Charles it doesn't really matter because he's already rich, but for the rest of us investors like that want to cash out, this actually does matter. And the thing is, like, no one really wants to wait another 4 years for the next run. The next least most likely is Polkadot. Polkadot's a little bit, I think, slightly more likely than Cardano because I think it is a little earlier. We know that they're having their parachain auction right now. Kusama is going to have their parachain auction. By the way, I'm actually more bullish on Kusama than Polkadot because I think it's going to have more projects on it. Kusama is going to have their auction on the 20th. Polkadot's already kind of having their auctions right now. I don't really know how long that will actually run through and when everything will be functionally online. But I think it's going to be like probably early mid-summer. So I think it's a little earlier than Cardano right now. So the date for Polkadot isn't like as solid as Cardano, like, July, August, but I think it's going to be a little earlier because they're actually having their parachain auctions right now and they're going to be ready to go a little earlier. So based on that timeline, they're more likely not to miss the bull run. I think the most likely out of the three is actually Vechain because we know that they're launching POA 2.0 at the end of April. And I doubt the bull run is going to be over by the end of this month. Like, we know they're launching POA 2.0 by the end of April. We know that VSwap is coming by the end of April as well because those two go hand in hand. Really wouldn't make sense otherwise. And we know that there are projects that want to make DeFi on Vechain and NFTs also. Those are all coming at the same time. And they specifically mentioned it because, people actually want these features. The one thing about Vechain is that it's not like 100% decentralized like Cardano. It's like semi-decentralized. There's like, I think, like 101 authority nodes or something. I think like I used to say 21, but now there's like 100 or so authority nodes. So it's like decentralized to that extent, but it's not like it's not like thousands and thousands of stakers that are actually like doing that proof of stake thing like Cardano. So but I don't really think investors are really going to care all that much. But Vechain's also not quite as well known. So the pump might be slightly smaller, but it is at a smaller market cap. So the multiplier might be just as big or even bigger. But the timeline actually is in favor of Vechain the most because like they're going to launch at the end of April and things are going to be ready by the end of this month. They were actually going to launch at the end of March, but there's certain business decisions, like their stuff is actually ready, but certain business decisions actually have made them delay it until end of April. So they delayed a month. It's going to be launched And I don't think there's much way they're actually going to miss the end of the bull run for NFTs and DeFi. The other two are further out in the timeline, so there's a chance the run might actually end. But I don't really think so. So like from most likely to least likely, you have like Vechain, Polkadot, and then Cardano. But realistically, like I don't think even Cardano, I don't think it's going to miss the bull run. And I think like the NFTs and DeFi for Cardano are actually going to catch the bull run as well. And judging by what's happening with Binance, I think Binance is heading to $1,000, if not more, and it could possibly challenge ETH. ETH is going up, but Binance is going up way, way faster. If Binance makes it to like 1,500 or maybe $2,000, it can be pretty equal to ETH. And I don't think that's there's a non-zero chance of that happening. Like, and it's much greater than non-zero. It might not be super likely, but it's not uber unlikely either. And I think like at least for Cardano and Polkadot, when they actually launch, if they do it on time, they could have the same results. VeChain, I don't know if it can like challenge Ethereum or anything, but it doesn't really need to challenge Ethereum for us to get amazing ROI. I think it can get to like $1 sometime by the end of this year, hopefully. So that's my summary. I think VeChain is the most likely, Polkadot's next, and Cardano's third to actually catch a big mega bull run because of their timeline. I still think all three are very, very bullish. And I still actually like between Polkadot and Cardano, even though Polkadot I think is on a faster timeline, I still like Cardano a little bit better. So that's my view on it. Let me know what you think, like and subscribe, and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.